Hello everyone, this is Kim and thanks for joining us for another episode of SmartFox TV. I hope that you enjoy, and if you would like to see more of our videos and see when new ones come out, please subscribe to our channel.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of SmartFox TV. It's Monday, March 8th, and today happens to be International Women's Day. It also is Women's History Month, so naturally the focus of today's segment is women. But there's no way I can cover the sheer importance women have played in our history in just 3 minutes, so today I'm going to talk about Hazel Scott, a renowned pianist, singer, and actor whose lifetime of work is a testament to the immense skill, courage, and strength of women everywhere. Born on June 11, 1920, in Port of Spain, Trinidad, Hazel Scott was practically destined to become a skilled artist. Her father was a West African scholar originally from England, and her mother, Alma Long Scott, was a classically trained pianist. From the very beginning, the musical abilities of Hazel were obvious. By the time she was 3, she was already playing the piano by ear, a talent not widely seen. Eventually, her parents separated, and Hazel would move to New York City with her mother and grandmother. This would have a profound effect on her, as during this time in the States, jazz was becoming mainstream. Watching her mother play in several bands, she was also introduced to many prominent African-American musicians of the time. She would be influenced by greats in music such as Lester Young and Fats Waller. At the age of 8, Hazel's mother had her audition for Juilliard, to this day still the apex of musical education. The normal age for auditions was 16. In the end, 8-year-old Hazel absolutely crushed a rendition of a Rachmaninoff piece, difficult enough without improvisation. Oscar Wagner, the head of the school at the time, was convinced of her genius behind the keys and decided to personally teach her. Her legend only grew. By the time she hit her teenage years, she was already playing professionally. In 1938, she debuted on Broadway. For those keeping score, she was 18. Oh, and she still graduated high school with honors. In 1939, Hazel replaced Billie Holiday at Holiday's request at Cafe Society, New York's first integrated nightclub. And after several stints on Broadway, Hazel eventually moved to Los Angeles, where she appeared in several films as herself. Moving to the West Coast, however, also brought forth the ugly reality of racism right to her doorstep. But in typical Hazel Scott fashion, she wasn't having it. She insisted on equal pay with her white counterparts and rallied against racism, but that cost her a film career. She eventually moved back to New York City, married a politician amidst controversy, and eventually became the first African-American woman to host her own TV show, The Hazel Scott Show. If we're still keeping track, Hazel is only 30 years old. Hazel would continue to perform all the way into the 1950s, when the communist scare was alive and well in the United States, and Hazel was named in the Red Channels, a hit piece trying to weed out communists. Despite testifying in front of Congress and not being a Communist Party member, her show was canceled as a result. In 1957, Hazel moved to Paris, France, joining a black expatriate community where she continued to influence the music scene all the way until 1967. Nevertheless, her influence became worldwide. After spending about a decade in Europe, Hazel Scott eventually returned to the United States, where she continued to perform for her fans, all the way until her death in 1981. Her last performance was only 2 months prior, an artist to the very end. So once again, there's no way I could possibly cover all of her accomplishments in such a short time. But as I wrap up my last segment here with SmartFox TV, I hope that everyone watching found some inspiration in her incredible story. I know I sure did. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to Sports Trivia Mondays. Which NBA player has scored the most points in an All-Star game? Is it Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, or Paul George? Be back with the answer.
Hi, this is Sally with SmartFox TV, and do we have some good news for you? Today we'll look at the power of pets. When Brian Myers of New Jersey adopted a 6-year-old German Shepherd named Sadie, he had no idea she would one day save his life. She was surrendered last September at the Ramapo-Bergen Animal Refuge when her former owners moved and were not allowed to keep her at their new home. She had issues like being fearful of men, but quickly warmed up to Myers and was shortly adopted after just 30 minutes. They became best friends ever since, with Sadie often sharing the bed with Myers. When he battled through COVID-19, she never left his side. After he recovered, he wasn't aware that some people develop clots after their COVID recovery. One day, he experienced a stroke and fell down into a corner. Luckily, Sadie was at his side and helped him pull up, where he was then able to get some help. Today, he credits her for saving his life and is sharing his story to encourage others to adopt a pet too. When Danielle, Cruel, and her family found Truffles at a church camp, they adopted her and brought her into the family. Cruel, an optician, noticed that Truffles was very smart and treat motivated, so she trained her to wear glasses and help encourage kids to do the same. She started bringing Truffles with her to work, and kids who would see Truffles in glasses would suddenly be more open to wearing them. In one instance, Cruel recalled a 3-year-old who sobbed from frustration, but once Truffles modeled glasses for her, she wanted to try them all. Truffles also models glasses with eye patches for children suffering from amblyopia, a condition where one eye must be forced to be used more to balance out with a better eye that is patched. Thanks for joining us today for our Good News segment.
The NBA player with the most points in an All-Star game is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis scored 52 points in the 2017 All-Star game. The previous record holder was Wilt Chamberlain with 42. Thanks for playing Sports Trivia Mondays.
Thanks for watching SmartFox TV. I'm Chris Yates.
I'm Kim.
I'm Sally.
I'm Tracy.
Until next time, stay foxy.
Stay foxy.